Yo, what's up? Welcome back. Today is the first episode of me working on my record. This is going to be a new series where I'm not going to be talking as much. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more about what the song is about and what I'm going through in my personal life as I'm working on this record. And of course, I'll show you some tips and tricks as I'm going, but I probably won't be talking as much because I'm really hyper-focused on this thing. You're probably more likely to see me cry and break down than be goofy throughout this whole thing, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, this is the first episode of First Try. I think that's what I'm gonna call my record. So First Try, episode 1. I'm working on the song Proud that me and Austin Coop produced together in his studio. It was one of the first collaboration videos that I ever put out on my channel, and it turned out really sick, and people have been asking for the song. So this is what I'm starting with. I already tracked the final vocals, and Josh Low Spirit, my studio mate, tuned the vocals, and he does a great job at it, and Austin is probably gonna mix it when it's all done. So with that, let's get into the journey that is creating this freaking album. I appreciate you guys watching. I love music. I love what we're doing here on the channel, and I hope it inspires you guys to get creating as well and really just focus in on the thing that matters, which is your feelings and the way that you convey them in your art. Not to get all pee-pee poo-poo on you, but that's the point of this channel, to create art and do it in the way that I know best, which is to make sick riffs. So let's freaking get it. Just a little refresher, I'm gonna play just the intro into the verse. We actually track live drums for this at Big Bad Studios, and they sound awesome. And then here's the big slamming chorus with my new vocals on it. And really laid into the vocals at the end here. Yeah, so everything in this track is raw, it's not mixed. I'm hoping Austin can mix it if he has time this week. We're just gonna take it part by part, level it up, try to just produce with feeling and not try to force any sort of genre or anything. So I do wanna add in some extra feedback just to have like this noisy room, maybe even if it's like pick scratches or something. Here's the trick to make feedback. Use the EBow and you can create fake feedback in whatever note you want. Let's throw on the Zen Box, of course, available for $69.69 on the Canvas Audio website. It's the greatest amp in the entire universe, and it's the only amp that we're gonna use on this record. Oh, I like when it breaks up. And then I'm gonna throw a digitalis on it so that it can feel concise with the rest of the record and feel like throwback to when we were all playing Halo 3, trying to get that ninja armor. Really cool. I like how Zen Box is making it kind of like more stringy sounding. What I'm gonna add in is a really heavy 808, and we need to dial in a sound that's not like EDM pushing or, you know, anything that's like holding it down to a certain time period, just something that fits the song. This song also too has to hold a lot of weight in general. I wrote the song about my dad when he passed away, about just really being sad about it. This whole album in general, there's gonna be a lot of this personal stuff that I have to spill because it's the truth. And a lot of the choices I'm making on how to produce this reflect that, you know? So when I'm picking an 808, I'm not just saying, oh, this doesn't fit the vibe. I'm like, this doesn't fit the feeling. The 808 encompasses that. It's heavy and it's gritty and it needs to just hold weight because this is a heavy song. Maybe just grit it up a slight bit more. All right, and let's add a top guy. Pretty cool. I'm gonna leave it in there. Yeah, I'm gonna add the low end into this lead as well. I think that'll help blend all this stuff together. Big old glass break on the one. Dude, the drums sound so good from the studio. But I need to make a different bus and print this effect because I think the verses need to be more dialed and more calculated rather than leaving it up to Austin to figure out how to mix this thing. First things first, I'm gonna tighten it up. Yeah, because I want it to feel smaller. See if I can compress it. I want it to feel more boomboxy, so let me throw thermal on and see if there's a setting that like is super low end sounding. I love that. Okay, so it's really just that intro drum, first one, that needs to sound like that. So I'm gonna commit that, insert, run it. And then what I can do is just mute all of this stuff. Yeah, I don't think it needs this clean thing here, to be honest. I think it's better just super simple. And then let me pick where my doubles are gonna be hitting, because I think that's super important for this type of song. I think it's cooler just with that one drum kit. I think I'm gonna bake this acoustic a little bit more for Austin, because I think it needs to be gridded out. Mono, acoustic. Actually, let me try something. I'm gonna try the overdrive, turn off the amp, get rid of the cab. Much better, chorus. It's awesome. It's gonna need a low end element too, so I wanna see what's up with this 808 thing. Maybe it'll be cool. Bum, bum, bum. And there might be even a cooler low end thing that we can use there instead of what I'm using right now. Like a foghorn. I need something small, even just like a Rhodes. Pretty sure I like the UAD one the best. Let's see. And then let's do some vocal glitching because it just feels right. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. Sick. Blame it on the kid. Scream your lungs out, so you drill it in his head. It's all your fault. Now I can't forget how. It's all your fault. Now. And then that drum kit there should probably actually be like a roomy, distorted thing. Doubled up. All right, then it just needs like a sort of dirt bikey sounding guitar behind it. The dirt bike setting on the Zen Box. I'm gonna add this DI guitar as just blended in with this guitar. All right, I think that feels good. There it is. All right, this part needs to sound a little more magical. I think it would be cool to do like a flanger effect on that snare there and have it pan like. There it is. That's cool. Oh, it's mean, dude. It's all your fault. Now I can't forget how I made you so upset that you smoked your cigarettes down. It's funny, like, not funny, but when I smell cigarettes, I think about my parents. And I think about like when I was a kid. That lyric really just means like when I was a kid and my parents were yelling at me because I got bad grades or whatever it was. They would get stressed out, understandably, you know, because I wasn't a good student. But they would get stressed out and then they would smoke their cigarettes in the house because it was the frickin' 90s or early 2000s. And they would turn on the kitchen vent and just smoke underneath that. But it still filled the whole house with smoke. And now every time I smell cigarettes, I'm like, I feel like I'm getting yelled at. It's funny how much these little things when you're growing up really affect just your day-to-day life and your reactions to random things. But yeah, those lyrics really reach a little deeper than what they're saying. You got so upset that you smoked your cigarettes. Like that, to me, holds a lot more weight than just what it actually is. Really sick. I need to add in some feedback leading up to that part because that's a pretty massive sounding part. All right, let me add the guitar in there. Gotta add in the low end. Let me get the low end for the ending. All right, let's just add in this guitar, and I think that might be it for this song. I'm feeling really good about it. I don't have to overthink it. I don't have to add a ton of extra production on the top end of it. I just think it just needed more feeling, and that's all it needed, is just more guitars, some more subs, some more fuzzy stuff, and a couple of vocal effects here and there that I know I want in the song. But other than that, if Austin has time to mix it, then I can send this to him and he can just attack it for a whole day, send it back, and I probably won't have any notes, to be honest, and we'll hit upload and we'll get it done. So let me just hit these end parts. I think before I wrap this, I want to record in just some real cymbal hits real quick on top of it, just to give it this big organic thing at the end of the song. And I'm just going to capture the cymbals in the room, turning on my TF51 right here, but switching it to wide open mode, so it's just picking up the ambient noise in the room. And that's it. Let me check it out. Cool. I think that's it. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to keep working on this record and keep pumping out the videos. And I'll catch you guys next time. See ya. So this song was written after my dad had passed away, and after the funeral, and after I had visited New Jersey and all my family. And my family growing up was never really like the type to cry at each other or really lean on each other when we really, really needed something. Of course they'd be there, you know, but we just haven't really been a super emotional family. I was really close to my grandma growing up, and there was a lot of times growing up when my parents would yell at me or whatever. My grandma lived right down the street. I would get mad at my parents, and I would run over to my grandma's house and be like, hey, my parents were being mean, you need to yell at them, blah, 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 all this stuff. And my grandma was always on my side. I was really close with her. But me and my dad growing up, we butt heads a lot, whether it was grades or baseball or guitar or even jamming. When he would play guitar and I would play drums, it was like, hey, play that riff, and he'd be like, no, I don't want to. And we would always argue over everything, even the classic thing of, like, you know, my dad had a workshop in his garage and he built all the furniture in the house that I grew up in. He would come into my room and be like, hey, can you help me build something out in the garage? And then yell at me while I'm holding the hammer or the flashlight not in the right spot or whatever, or holding up plywood and I was just too weak to hold it up, and he would yell at me. He was just a tough dude to grow up around, and it hardened me and it made me who I am today. It made me a man, you know. But growing up, we just butt heads so much. And I remember I ran to my grandma once and I just told him how my dad was giving me a hard time about trying to be in a band and trying to make a living doing that, and I just felt like he wasn't taking it seriously, which ultimately I did know deep down that he did. He built me guitars and he let me destroy his whole basement to build a recording studio. So ultimately he really did care. But in the moment, you know, when I graduated high school, he charged me rent to live at his own place, which isn't uncommon, but it was just tough. I was working for myself and I didn't feel supported. And one day my grandma told me that my dad really wanted to be in a band growing up and that he was just jealous of everything I was doing. And I just, like, it never even clocked to me that your own blood could feel a certain type of way about you just pursuing your dreams. And you have to understand, I grew up, my mom was a Filipino immigrant. You know, she came to America and then was like, what do you mean my kid is gonna start a band? What do you mean he's not gonna be a doctor? Like, I came to America with $17 and now he's gonna throw all of that away. So it's like understandable now that I'm older, but when I was a teenager and that's all I wanted to do was tour in a band, they were really tough on me. This led to my parents really never telling me that they were proud of me and that I was on the right path, and I had all this like inner conflict all the time. if my parents even cared about me, if I was even doing the right thing, because it wasn't working out for a long time. It just really wasn't. I was telling this sort of stuff to my buddy Austin right before we started writing it, and I was just still in the mode of grieving, but kind of like, shouldn't I be sadder? You know, and I was really sad, but I just saw when my buddy Austin's mom passed away, it destroyed him for months, and I almost felt like guilty that I didn't feel more sad and more broken about it, and that I wasn't hung up on this thing. I feel like I wrote that song called Tough in another video for my dad, and when I did that, I felt a lot of release. And I still think about it all the time. I'm still sad, but I mean, I just feel like I felt guilty for not being totally destroyed about the death of my dad, you know? But so that's kind of where this song came from, Proud. And it was when I went to the funeral, all his friends were coming up to me, telling me all these stories about how my dad was so proud of me, and he was showing them my videos and really just like showing all his friends another side of him that he never showed me. He never told me he was proud of me. I would hear indirectly from like the mechanic down the street. We had the same mechanic. And he was like, your dad was just in here. He was telling me how proud he is that you played that festival and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, really? Because I just got in a screaming match with him. You know, typical New Jersey, tough dad, punk kid situation. But the song is just kind of like, you were such a tough guy. Like, why couldn't you just tell me yourself? Why did I have to hear it from everybody else around, you know? And I think as dudes in general, it's ingrained in us to just like put on a brave face and try to toughen people up around you so that they can pass it forward, you know? But when you're just a kid, you don't understand that. And it really just sticks with you. And so this song is me releasing that and accepting my dad's passing and accepting who he was to me, you know, my whole life. Finding out that he was proud of me through everybody else around me, you know, is great. But yeah, I just wish he could have said it himself.